This skull pattern is quick, simple, and would be best used with alternating colors so that you can really see them. This is based on my original skull border pattern that I made a while back. It is done on multiples of 5s, so you have a lot more options to choose from in terms of sizing. Now what you're going to start off with is 3 chains, 2, 3, and 2 double crochets. And when you start this off on the rim, then you'll do this in 1 stitch. So it'll be 3 double crochets in a stitch. Then you're going to chain 2, skip 4 stitches, and 3 double crochet in the 5th stitch. Now when I'm going up with these next rows, I'm going to, instead of going into the stitch like that, I'm actually just going to go ahead and cover the whole thing. So 3 double crochets between those skulls, or as you're starting then in the 5th stitch. And then chain 2, skip 4 stitches, 3 double crochets in the next, chain 2, skip 4, continue that pattern all the way around. After my final chain 2, then I slip stitched into the top of that chain 3. Now I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet into that same stitch at the top of that chain 3. And I'm going to mark it. I'm going to chain 1, single crochet into that 3rd double. So I single crocheted into the top of the first one, chained 1 and skipped the middle one, single crochet into the top of the 3rd one. Now I'm going to single crochet twice around that chain 2, single crochet into the 1st double, chain 1 and skip the 2nd double, single crochet into the 3rd double, and then 2 single crochets around the chain 2, and repeat that pattern all the way around. My last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and slip stitch into that first single crochet that I marked. Okay, now because these skulls are smaller than the other pattern, then I'm only going to chain 3, double crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 3. I'm going to come over and slip stitch, see that? Slip stitch into this one. Let's get a better view of that. So you have that one next to it, and you skip that one and go into the next one. Slip stitch, that's that one. Then you'll slip stitch that middle stitch there and slip stitch into the next. And then you can chain 3 and do the pattern again. Double crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 3, skip that stitch and go into the next one for a slip stitch. Then you slip 1 and 2 and do that pattern again all the way around. Okay, so after finishing those skulls, slip stitching over to my first skull and loose slip stitch into it, a loose chain 1 up. Now I'm going to put 2 single crochets into this first eye, mark my first one, 2 single crochets into the next eye, and chain 1, and that's my pattern all the way around. So keeping with that 5 count, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you do that same pattern all the way around until you come back to your first skull and you slip stitch into that first single crochet of the round. And the last skull, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for that final one, I'm going to do that little stitch disappearing trick. So instead of doing that chain 1 that would count as your fifth stitch, I'm going to go ahead and create it, pulling that closed, slipping this yarn back down, and working this through. And that gives you the complete set. And from there you just continue to alternate your colors if you'd like. Or from there you can get to the length that you want and seal it off. And that is the second skull pattern, if you'd like that.